Hello, and welcome to our very first season 1, episode 1 of our new monthly version of State of Gaming. I'm really excited about this. I'm Jesse of Game Infinite. And what I'm really excited about this is that we are transitioning State of Gaming away from just part of Infinite Summer to its new semi-monthly format. We're going to be talking about gaming, interviewing content creators, having a rotating list of guests, and I'm really excited for the guests we have today. You might recognize some of them. We have Eric from working on LUCID. We've interviewed him. We talked to him. He was in State of Gaming for Infinite Summer 23. Really great to have you back, Eric. Nick, who is a fantastic artist who actually helped design the Game Infinite mascot, our OC. We're really excited for Nick. He's also done a lot of really cool stuff. Nick was actually in our Infinite Summer, had some cool art for that. And then, of course, we have a new guest, Neela. You'll know her as Sicophant. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I should have double checked.
You're good. It's Sicophant.
Sicophant. Okay, I was off. But I actually had that in my notes to ask, and then I totally forgot.
Dude, don't even worry about it. Everybody calls me like Psycho. It's the same.
We actually had you as a special featurette in Infinite Summer 23 as well. We showcased a unique debut art cosplay piece, so that was pretty cool. I want to thank all three of you for taking time out of your busy day to do this video talk show with us as we're launching State of Gaming into its new monthly ongoing format. I'm really excited to have you guys. Sycophant, let's have you. Neela, let's have you go first as our new guest. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what type of content creator you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so me, I would at a really young age gamed all my life, so having to have that medium of like gaming and anime and being able to like smush it into one hobby is very sick, and I love doing it.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Don't laugh at me.
Your story sounds very much like my story. Well, what was your first?
Hey, don't steal my story. You gotta make your own story.
Well, now I have to make something up apparently. What was your intro anime? What was like your?
Yeah.
So my intro anime. My older sister watched anime. I was super into Naruto, but it was playing on the only reason I was into Naruto so much is because it was playing on Toonami on Cartoon Network. But the one that I decided to watch myself was Elfen Lied.
Oh,
so the most gory thing you could think of. I also really like horror movies. So the most fucking gory thing you can think of is my first anime.
Cool.
And I was like 9 or some shit.
I mean, I literally just got asked that question today. Like, a friend of mine said, my stepdaughter's getting an anime. What should we watch? And I was like, just watch the Berserk episode, the Eclipse one.
You should watch the whole of One Piece.
I haven't seen Berserk.
What?
I haven't, dude. There's so many animes like I still need to watch.
You should read the manga though. The anime is kind of
The
don't
movies...
they have like those really big hardcover books?
Yeah,
they do.
Is that everything packed into one?
I think it's in giant
giant volumes. Yeah.
But you get like
that's a lot of fucking. How much is it? Is it like $30-$50?
Whatever the price is, I'd pay it. It's amazing. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's one of like the best things ever.
I'm gonna look it up online, but I want to read it. Like I see people like talking about it all the time.
There's
just like like with Jujutsu Kaisen and stuff. I still haven't watched that, but like I want to read it. But like, I always like forget about it, and then somebody brings it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to read that. And I'm like in my head, I'm like, I really want to read it, and I'm like, go fucking read it, go read it, and then I'll like be doing nothing, and I'll completely forget it exists.
The day you do, you'll be glad. It's rad as fuck.
Yeah.
If Elfen Lied was your like intro, you'll be like, this is right up my alley. It's super good.
For real. All right, I got it then. I will.
If we ever decide to do an anime themed version of a future State of Gaming, I know who I'll have to invite for this, just to get, because like I feel like I am so inexperienced when it comes to anime. I like anime, and I have a short list of ones that I really liked, but I only got into it like 2 years ago. My first and favorite was One Punch Man. Love One Punch Man.
That's so good.
That was a good anime.
That's so good. And what's sad is I'm not a big reader. So for a while I stopped where the show stopped, but then one of my friends kind of convinced me to actually read the rest, and
The manga is so good.
It's so good. Like the story that's going to be in season 3 and 4 is like 10 times better than the already really good show.
I haven't read the manga.
Yeah,
I can't. Yeah,
I got sucked in with the animation of the first season. That was
yeah.
wild.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So good. What happens in the rest of the story?
It's interesting to me that was your first, because that anime as itself is sort of like an inside baseball. Like it's like tongue-in-cheek about and like battle manga. So it's funny that that's your first one.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. That's crazy.
It's pretty good,
so,
actually.
It's Jesse, right?
Yes.
So being like newly into anime, does it like intimidate you trying to like talk about that subject at all?
I mean, it's definitely like when it comes to gaming, I feel like that's my area of expertise. And that's why, I mean, I run a whole gaming platform around it where articles and news and research, I feel very informed about that topic. I can talk about specific topics to a high degree. When it comes to anime, I feel like I'm the inexperienced noob in most conversations. So I've been trying to catch up and just, but there's definitely some animes that are like, we have 1,000 episodes. And I'm like, I don't have time for
Don't get me started.
We talk about
it's okay. I haven't watched
I'm up to date to One Piece.
Yeah,
I will not. I haven't watched One Piece.
Won't touch it.
It's worth it. Although it takes like 300 episodes.
Bro, but I can't find the time. You feel me?
Yeah. No, I started watching it when I was in high school. So
you finished it though, right?
No, it hasn't finished. I'm up to date.
Well, I mean, like the amount of episodes they have out now.
Up to that point, yes. When I was in high school, I got up to date. I waited a few years until the next big arc was finished, and then I continued it. So right now, I'm very excited because there's a kind of a huge event going around it. The year 5 from Luffy, he has a new transformation, a new power up, and I'm really excited to see that.
How long did it take you to watch it when like you initially picked it up?
Well, high school is very easy, so like a few months.
Dude, with all that time, it still took a few months. You see what? You see my point of view now. You see where I'm coming from.
It's too big.
Some of them don't even have to be that long, because like I've been stuck on the same 3 episodes of My Hero Academia, because like it's like it's just this really, it's like these filler episodes that are kind of boring, and I'm just like every time I start them, I'm like 5 minutes in, I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch this, and I'm trying to get through the show. I love the show, and I'm in like season 5, but there's like this one part I've been trying to work on for months. I just can't get through it.
Yeah.
But anyways, but we are still in the introduction phase.
Right.
To topics yet, so please, we need to. I need to give a chance for our audience to get to know Eric and Nick a little bit. Some of our viewers may have already know who you all are, and you were in our Infinite Summer last time. But for the new audience, Eric, we'll start with you real quick. Tell us 30 seconds about yourself and what you're working on.
Okay. My name is Eric. I used to be an architect. I'm no longer an architect because architecture sucked. Actually, it's really cool. I just didn't like it. Now I make games. I make my favorite game. It's a love letter to my gaming as a kid with some modern sensibilities. It's inspired by Super Metroid, Mega Man X, Legend of Zelda, Celeste, Doom 2016, and Hades. It's an action platform Metroidvania inspired by Celeste that I've been affectionately calling a Celestoidvania. It's really good. It's made by me, so it's obviously really good because I'm really good. You better like it, and you should like it, and go to the Kickstarter right now. If you don't, you're a dumb person and you're a garbage person. You shouldn't be a garbage person. You should be a good person. Go to the Kickstarter now, please.
I wish my intro was like that.
Yeah.
Damn. You're better than me. Let me just give it to you. You're better than me.
I'm just seeing future version of me trying to edit this video, trying to find the 5 seconds of where,
I'm so sorry.
Your intro is, to put in like 15 seconds of clip from Lucid to move on.
Just have it like go really fast.
Yeah.
I'll change the speed up to correlate with how fast you're talking to make the speed, so it's just like the video's like really fast.
Yeah,
I like subtitles with that like bouncing ball and
all right, Nick, you're up, man. Tell us all about Nick, the artist, the legend.
Well, I can speak that fast in English. It's not my first language. So I'll go.
It's okay. Slowly. Half the people really can't, to be honest.
Well, as you know, I'm an artist. I specialize into the art. I'm a professional animator, though I hate animating. I don't like the process of it, but I like other aspects that goes into animation. and I'm working as a freelance artist right now. And if you like very spicy waifus, then you should follow me.
Ooh.
Hey, nice link. I'm gonna follow you now.
Yeah. That was
I
a
need
good
to
sell.
know. I have to know.
You have to be older, right? Not underage, please.
I'm not underage. You're good. You're good.
Just covered his back. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. All right, awesome. So now that everyone's had a chance to get to know our guests, we can dive into some topics of discussion. Let's talk with number one. Let's transition into question number one. Question number one for today's discussion was, if you could get any one video game made, it could be your own original idea, a sequel, a remake, what would it be and why? Let's start with Eric, and we'll go around.
That's right. You're in the spotlight. Get it.
Okay. Word.
Or fast talker.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna say LUCID again, because
See, I was just thinking, I was like, did I even say the name of the game? I think I just described it. I can't remember, but if I didn't,
I said it earlier. It's all good.
You did? Okay, great. So the obvious answer is LUCID. I would love to make LUCID. I would love that to be out, and it would be so great if it was just done. Yeah, if it was just done, that'd be so awesome. But aside from that,
when's LUCID 2 coming out?
Perfect segue. It just came to me. I would want a Bloodborne 2.
Okay.
Is that the FromSoft game?
Yeah, Bloodborne.
Yeah, thank you. You haven't played Bloodborne? It's fine. It's really
I've
good.
played a lot of games and I've watched a lot of anime, but stuff that's like more popular like pushes me away for some reason.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
I feel you.
like,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's like the hype around it. I just I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like that with a lot of music. If a lot of people like a band or something,
I'm like that with movies. I didn't watch the newest Predator movie until I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Because they talked so much about it, I just hated it.
That movie was pretty good though. That was pretty good.
I definitely struggle with anime when it comes to that. That's why I haven't seen Berserk or Jujutsu Kaisen, because it's been popular recently.
Yeah. I was like that with what the hell is it? Demon Slayer, or is it Hunter?
I was too.
Slayer,
It took me like 2 years to watch that.
Yeah, I watched it because it was so much hype, so freaking hyped, and I watched it and I was like,
me too.
All right. But anyway, sorry,
so Bloodborne 2. That's a
Bloodborne
good choice.
2.
I know you're a big
from
Soulsborne and From Software fan, so that's a good one. I think that's a pretty solid answer.
Yeah, I would have said Mario RPG, but then that trailer dropped like a few weeks ago, and I was just like that all day. So that would have been my other answer. But yeah, that's me.
Cool.
Nice.
Nick, let's rotate to you. What video game, new sequel or remake would you if you could meet the gaming genie?
Well, I will ask for a remake of Asura's Wrath. I love that game, and it's pretty niche. I think it deserves more love from Capcom. So yeah, I would love to get a new Asura's.
Cool.
Azura's Wrath is the only I think it's like the only 360 title I still currently have installed on my Xbox, because I keep meaning to replay it again, because when they dropped backwards compatibility, I bought it and I'm like, I need to play this sometime, but it's just sitting next to
hopefully they won't keep the ending lock away with DLC. Like last time. That sucks. That actually sucks, but the game is really worth it.
I like that you said a remake of it, because I feel like they could do a lot with not just updating the visuals, but just that was such a unique game.
And I don't want a sequel because I think the story is round. It just ends perfectly. It doesn't need more.
I mean, we're on an anime kick tonight apparently.
That
should be an anime though.
I'm gonna have to scratch out State of Gaming and just scribble an anime on there and be like, just kidding. No, just kidding. State of Anime.
Anime special.
Okay. Neil, let's rotate to you. What new sequel or remake would you dream up?
So if we had done this interview like a year ago, I would be saying Dead Space for sure. And then after that, I would have said I want the new Breath of the Wild. But here we are.
Yeah.
The one I would definitely do is Portal 3. I know like
Oh, that is so
they
good.
ended Portal 2 on like a really good closeout, as in like everything was kind of like answered and it was all in one big bubble and bam, like it finished. But I feel like the way like it ended, it gave it a lot of opportunity to like start a new storyline. Because like they closed it out really well, but I feel like it was just kind of like packaged up and forgotten about. And it's such like a unique game that I wanted to see it go like a little bit further.
Yeah,
That
just
is
straight
such a good
puzzle.
answer.
Mhm.
That is such
Yeah,
a good
dude,
answer. I love Portal.
I be dreaming about Portal like every day. I
I
really wish that they would put out something.
I
Or
just
like
If only
DLC.
Valve knew how to count to 3.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I actually replayed Portal and Portal 2 a couple months ago because they
I
were
did too.
like super cheap on Steam, so I got them for like nothing, and I replayed them again. And I originally played them on the Xbox like 360, I think, and this one I played on my PC, and it actually looked better than I remember. So it was like quality was really good, and it got me thinking what they could do with Portal with modern tech would just be
That's what I'm
insane.
saying.
Yeah.
A
Definitely.
Portal 3, like it's so like it'd be so good. Like especially like thinking what they could do with like SSDs now.
Yep.
Like
I've
they
Yeah.
talk so much like what I kept thinking of was Ratchet and Clank
Ratchet and
Rift
Clank.
Apart, where
Yep.
they talk about all the new stuff they could do with SSD only systems and all the teleportation and the jumping around. I mean, like you could have entire game worlds shifting around. The puzzle maps could be way bigger, and you could just do so. There's so much cooler shit they could do.
Yeah.
It'd be rad.
Yeah.
I would like
awesome.
I just want them to like we have so much shit now like for the technology and video games, and we're going like so far. Just like imagine them putting out like a Portal 3 like tomorrow. That would be so sick.
So good.
Yeah.
I will say that I've liked that every now and then I come across a game that I feel like is inspired by that genre, and it shows how like there's Portal, the system where you're literally shooting portals, but then you also have games that have just taken such heavy inspiration like that. Some games like that I call them Portal likes,
Yeah.
where like
Like a Souls like.
yeah, like so
Like a
it's
Souls
literally
like.
Portal likes, where it doesn't even have to have portals, but like this really niche subgenre of like trapped in an abandoned science lab kind of thing, and you have to puzzle your way out. There was one that I played last year, and I'm
Was it
blanking
that
on
shooting game?
No,
The shooting
actually,
game with the puzzles? With the
Splitgate
portals?
is awesome. So yes, that's another example I was going to mention was so Splitgate is essentially someone said what happens if we took Halo and Portal and mushed them together, which was fantastic. That
Yeah.
game, honestly, that game was a high contender for Game of the Year that year.
It was?
Oh yeah, for our Game Infinite one, because I played
Oh, okay.
crap out of that game. Like so, Game Infinite puts out Game of the Year every year. We put out our top 10 list. And I think it ranked like number 2. It was very, very good game, but there's another one last year that I'm trying to think of. It's gonna hurt me.
I don't know when it came out, but is it Viewfinder? Did you see Viewfinder?
It's not that, but I'm playing that right now, and that's another one that I would put
awesome is like just from a tech and like creative game. It's so cool.
Viewfinder, I would also put into this category of like a Portal like, where it's this idea of it has very much of a Portal vibe, but you're not playing with portals. If you don't know, for those of you watching and anyone here, just if you don't know what Viewfinder is, it's this game where it literally you take pictures or you find pictures in the game world and you hold it up, and the picture can become part of the game world, and you have to solve puzzles, and you can navigate. It is insane.
Yeah.
What system is it for?
Currently,
I
think it's on.
PS5.
I know it's coming to PS5. I know it's on PC. I don't think it's coming to Xbox just yet. But there's another one that actually won our indie game of the year. This game is still one of the coolest games I've ever played. It's called Superliminal. This is another Portal like.
Bro, wait, I think I played that, either that or like I'm waiting for it. Hold on. No, continue. I'm sorry.
Superliminal.
Superliminal. It's essentially it's a portal like where it plays. It's actually very similar to Viewfinder. In fact, when they announced
I play
Viewfinder,
that. Sorry.
I actually thought Viewfinder was a sequel to Superliminal because they're very
Oh
similar.
yes, this is exactly the conversation I had with my buddy who showed me this. I'm like, I feel like I've seen he described it. I'm like, I've seen this game, and then he showed me like, this isn't it, but this is awesome.
Superliminal plays with perspective, where like
Yeah.
when you hold up objects in the game world, it can become like their actual size and stuff like that. And that game was really special to me because I remember I saw the tech demo literally like 7-8 years prior, and I thought this is a really cool concept. And it took the game forever to come out, but it was one of the longest games that I followed in its development because they worked on it for years, and that game was fantastic. There's just like we're already coming up with all these amazing games. It just goes to show that Portal has inspired some of the coolest indie games that I've ever seen. Yeah. So that's just all the more reason why we need Portal 3.
Yeah, for real. Plus, like, it didn't have to have like crazy graphics or anything. It's just really simple and like straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I 112% second Portal 3. I'll share mine. This question was actually really hard for me because like pitching games is actually a big part of like what I do. So like so here at Game Infinite, we actually have our 5 game series, and I've done like at least a dozen of them. And the 5 games article series was I literally pitch video game ideas based on certain topics or franchises and things. And so when I was writing this question, I was like, this is a good question for a conversation, but I just had pitched so many games. It's hard to pick something that I want to highlight all of it. The one that comes immediately to mind as a remake would be I really want a remake of, so I would say either Star Wars Republic Commando or Star Wars Force Unleashed. Those are 2 fantastic Star Wars games. I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars games, and I would love them to get just updated visuals because they were fantastic. But a new one, I would definitely want Republic Commando is my remake pick. We got any Star Wars fans here?
I used to like Star Wars.
Yeah,
I actually recently played
Yeah.
a Star Wars game.
Yeah,
And it was fun at first, but like there was something
that no
about
one
it that
cheered when I said Republic Commando told me we didn't have Star Wars fans here.
Just
if this was Star Wars fans, they were like, yeah, Republic Commando.
I never played that one. I remember what was the one with the
S-tier game.
The 2 saber dude, the other one you just said.
Unleashed.
You did not.
Wait,
you did not just call him 2 saber dude.
It's 2 saber dude with the shaved head, and he holds him backwards because he's edgy as shit.
We do not insult
Wait,
Star
who's
Killer.
2 saber dude? Wait,
okay?
what's the visual?
So Star
you talking
Killer
about Darth Maul? What?
No. Star Killer.
Dude, I'm not a Star Wars fan.
Is the game I mentioned that I would have remade or remastered, and he's over here calling the main protagonist. You know, I've met Sam Witwer, the guy who played him. He's awesome. He's like one of my favorite video game characters, favorite Star Wars characters.
I don't deny this.
Not insult
I don't deny
Star Killer on Game Infinite. No,
I don't deny it at all.
So wait, what's his name? Sam?
He has 2 lightsabers. So
his name's like Spar Pillar Base or something. I don't know, something Star Warsy.
You're gonna make him mad.
Yeah.
You're so disrespectful right now.
2 years from now, they're gonna be like, "Hey, why did Eric never get invited back to State of Gaming ever again? He was in there, and then he's never."
Yeah, I'm never gonna see you again after this.
There's just gonna be like a black censored box over my screen.
Last time you were hating on God of War and Hi-Fi Rush.
I was hating on Hi-Fi Rush.
Now you're hating on Star Killer.
I was.
That's unforgivable.
Something about hating on shit, it just gives me life. It like
I love it.
My dark soul.
I love it.
I should give my hot take of the night, actually.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, what is it?
Hot take, please.
Yeah, you know what? I think Final Fantasy VII sucks. I think the game that should have gotten a remake should have been Final Fantasy VI.
I don't know. I've never played, so I've only played 13. And let me tell you,
it fucking sucks.
Dude, I played 13, right? Because I thought Lightning was so hot, right? She was so cute. And I was like, all right, I've heard about Final Fantasy my whole life. Let me play like the whole franchise. I picked up like one fucking game. It was somewhere in the ones, like 8, 7, whatever. I fucking hate the turn-based. It's so annoying. It is
Definitely
the
classic.
worst fucking. I can't do it. I've never played a Final Fantasy game other than like the Noctis one. That one was fun as shit. But I can't do
Final
it.
Fantasy 15.
15.
Yeah,
You'd
15.
probably
Was it 50?
you'd probably like 7 remake.
Yeah, you will actually like it. It's
similar
it's
to
Is
active.
it turn-based?
No,
Eh,
it's
not
more
really.
like a hack and slash, but it has some elements of turn-based, but very few. It's
Yeah,
very
way
watered
closer
down.
to 15.
So
Yeah.
with Final Fantasy, I think it's 15, 16, and 7's remake. They switched to real-time combat. So like you,
Yeah.
so I also I really dislike turn-based combat, which is also a reason why I never really got into 13. Was I really despise turn-based combat. I really don't like it fundamentally.
Uncultured
Yeah.
swine.
You talking about
I
lightning?
agree.
Yeah, but 7 remake, 15, and 16 have real-time combat. But yeah, I actually have a similar journey with Final Fantasy where like I also started with 13, didn't like the turn-based combat.
Hey, lightning hooked you, didn't she? Ooh.
Well, I mean that was the one that so when I started playing it,
You don't gotta lie. You don't gotta lie.
it was the new one that was out when I tried to get into it. So I'm old, so and it was new and it had just come out and I tried it, didn't like it. But I tried 7 and it was fantastic. 11 out of 10, Nick.
When did they?
No,
remake it?
I'm sorry. Final Fantasy 6 is the best. It
6
always
is
will
really
be.
good.
It's the best.
When did they remake Final Fantasy 7?
So the remake
Because
dropped
normies
about,
love it.
Yeah.
well, they remade it because like it's also like 20 years old, so like it's old, like it is.
Oh,
it is-
Final Fantasy 6 is older.
Yeah.
So the new one is
I would love
fantastic.
if they made in the same vein as 7
Octopath.
remake.
Actually, I would love to see an Octopath style game of Final Fantasy 6. That it's an excellent
Yes, please.
aesthetic for that game.
So like 7 versus 6. Why do you like 6 more? You feel me? Like
Because the story is great, the characters are awesome, and not are just some pretty boys crying over anything.
so it's just all in all better than 7.
Yes, it's better. Like the combat is great, the world is great, the story, everything is just so much goodness in that game.
I agree
Like,
with
look, I get it. I get why people love Final Fantasy VII. It was the first game they got into. It was, the first experience, but they just don't know what they're talking about.
Did you guys see the new one they're putting out though? I don't know. Like I don't know the numbers. Don't ask me because like it's too many. Like fuck it. But like I don't know. You turn into like a mecha dog or something.
Is this 16? I'm assuming. Is
It's like the newest one. I think they
Yeah,
already
I
released
think
it.
it's
16
Yeah,
16.
16, yeah, just right.
That
Yeah,
looks
that game
fun.
is great.
That
That
looks
game is
fun.
awesome.
16.
I've
I'm
played it.
playing 16 right now.
Are you for real? How you feel
yeah.
about it?
It's very much if it feels like Game of Thrones, the video game.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really
I
what it
haven't
is.
seen Game of Thrones.
Oh, I'm missing
Is that a
out.
good thing?
This
Game
is
of
such a
Thrones-
difficult answer. Like,
Okay.
What?
Okay. It feels Game of Thrones in its vibe. So if you've ever seen Game of Thrones, you'd understand like why people are kind of associated with that. And they were not like they were pretty clear on that being like an inspiration. They were kind of building like a darker. So when we say Game of Thrones, it's more like a darker, more mature fantasy, more mature story.
Yeah.
Darker setting. Like it's good.
You talking medieval elements?
Yeah, it's definitely a medieval like fantasy. It's not a modern day like Final Fantasy goes back and forth between like modern day and like medieval high fantasy.
yeah.
So,
Damn,
like-
talking about with that medieval shit.
like
Goddamn.
14, 16, and and a bunch of the others were like high fantasy medieval
9,
era.
4.
And 7 and 15 and 13 are the other ones that dabble in like modern that I think.
Yeah, they're a steampunk.
Yeah,
And
it's like-
15 is like modern. Yeah.
Am I the only one that hasn't played Final Fantasy here?
I played
I
a,
only
a
got into it with
handful.
7, the best one, by the 7 remake.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
I played
The
6,
7
7.
remake, I don't
Let's
understand.
agree to
It's an
disagree.
11 out of 10 game. It was like, it's fantastic combat.
Look, you know why 7
You're
Remake
talking about the
sucks?
new one, right?
Because it has Nomura, and Nomura is the worst guy ever. That man just doesn't know how to shut up, and I hate him.
He's the same dude that did the Kingdom Hearts, right?
Exactly.
Ooh.
You seem passionate about that. Hey, don't test Nick. Honestly, I only got into Final Fantasy because of Kingdom Hearts. So
I loved the first Kingdom Hearts, and then I liked the second, and then after that, I was like waiting for 3, and it was just a billion years of a billion other phone games you had to play, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't.
dude, yes. And like when they released 3, like Sora is fucking booking it 24/7.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And like
Uh,
I'm excited for 4, but also like I hope it doesn't feel like 3. I hope it feels more like 2.
that would be nice.
I'm
Yeah.
going to laugh a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. I would love to love it. That's really all I can say.
Actually, when is that being released? Hold on. I'm just looking shit up as we talk. Disregard me
I
looking
think
down.
it
I'm
doesn't have
looking
any
everything up you guys
release.
talk about.
We have the technology. I'm doing the same thing over here.
While you guys look that up, I'm going to transition us to just start thinking about our last question. We're gonna skip to this one, and we're gonna end on that main topic of discussion. Transition over to that, and then we'll get into some self-promotion, fun stuff.
Hey-o.
I'm not. I mean, but no, Nick and Eric, you both are disqualified. You're
Lost.
basically.
I'm
This
sorry,
video,
I have good
this
taste.
whole
Star
45
Killer and
minutes
Final
is
Fantasy
solely
VII.
just my plug.
Yep.
Mhm. You've lost
What's
plugging
funny is
privileges.
we have a dedicated Star Wars channel and we have a dedicated Final Fantasy channel. I can't promote this video on either of those channels now, thanks to
Make
you.
an anime channel.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Okay.
It
First
should be
episode
known.
anime.
7 is also amazing. I love 7, but I also love 6. I do
Look,
love them both.
I say I hate it, but I don't hate the game. I like it. I will play the Rebirth, whatever the name is. I don't care. I will still play it, but
Yeah.
it will
Literally,
never
whatever I
surpass
gotta
7.
do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
It will never
That's you.
surpass 6. 6 is just the perfect Final Fantasy for me.
Nico,
Actually,
it seems like
16 has a lot of vibes from Final Fantasy 12, and I love that because 12 is great too.
is that? Oh no, I'm thinking 10 too. No, sorry about
I
Just
like
so
12.
many of them.
So many, yeah.
One day when we're talking about Final Fantasy 24 and just being like, you remember when? All right, let's talk a little bit about. Let's transition to one thing. Okay, so a lot of video game studios, all the studios. Eric, you're probably thinking about this, obviously. Y'all want to be the next Fortnite, right? They want to be the next big live service, the next big game that people can't stop playing. That's going to be Lucid.
that. Well, yeah.
So what are some things in a game that you guys look for that makes you want to keep playing it for years? So I don't mean like the game that you play start to finish, you play for a few weeks or months. What is it about a game that keeps you coming back for years on end? It doesn't necessarily have to be technically a live service, but we all have those games that we've been playing for years. Like for me, it's like Overwatch and Apex Legends. We have a couple games that I just keep coming back to years later. What is it for y'all and games that you've been playing for years? What keeps you coming back?
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
I'm assuming like outside of nostalgia, like try to remove.
It could be anything. Just tell us like what is it a game that you're playing years after its release regularly? It keeps you coming back. What is it? What is that game? Why? What is it about that game that brings you back? There's a lot of games out there that just have long, loyal fan bases. The League of Legends, the Counter-Strike goes, the Overwatch, Apex, Fortnite. They're all these games that people play for years, long after the release date. What keeps you coming back to a game? What are some things you look for in games?
For me, it's kind of like a few pronged attacks. One lane is probably like a endearing world and characters and just kind of like cozy. It's just kind of like a comfy place, a safe spot to like go back to. And like I think of Super Mario RPG or like A Link to the Past. If outside of that, I would then probably say a game that has a an insane amount of like player expression and like freedom of like how to play, or like many different ways to play it. So maybe easy to pick up, difficult to master. So it has mechanics that you can play the game and get through and have fun, but then you can like master it and then like go in and like try different routes and different builds. I don't know, try to do sequence breaks, things like that. And then yeah, those games would be like Dark Souls, Super Metroid. A lot of Metroidvanias fall into that. Even fighting games with Smash would fall into that. Like when you learn a new character, the different toolkits. So yeah, I guess like freedom of player expression. Yeah.
Good chance. Those are good choices, good answers. I like that. What about the rest of y'all?
I would definitely say not exactly. So I feel like this really ties into Overwatch. Like customizability is really big for me just because I fucking love it. Like I played Overwatch for a long time. And even when I dropped it, it was obviously gradually because everything just gets boring. I would always obviously come back to see the skins that they've released. It's like I feel like if you can see something new that you're playing, it makes it a little bit more fun. But there's also like the entirely other side of gaming where like if they have a story that like you really like and you can relate to, especially on like a personal level, that is immediately going to sink into your like brain. You're going to love it way more than you would love like a Call of Duty like multiplayer online. So it's a tough question in the sense of like, do you want to do like a Diablo and play online and like customize your character, or do you want to completely like sink into a different reality and attach to that? Like Zelda is a no-brainer. Like it's got a good story, it's going on for a long time. Also Mario classics. But then there's Fortnite customizable, Overwatch customizable. And like I was really excited for Overwatch to come out with a story. And I was gonna pick it up once it came out with a story. They didn't come out with a story. I dropped Overwatch. Overwatch 2 came out. It felt exactly like 1. Didn't play it. So it's like I feel it has to either be really good customizability and really good online lobby, or it has to be a kick-ass fucking storyline. There's like no in between.
Yeah, I can second a lot of those points. For me, like character customization, if it's a fantastic story that I just want to re-experience multiple times, like a good TV show, just like revisit multiple times, like games that I've replayed multiple times that I think of with that category is like the Mass Effect trilogy. It's probably number one that comes to that. It's one of the best stories in video games, so like I've replayed that trilogy a number of times. But like on the live service side, you're absolutely right. When they drop new skins that are good and like new characters that are good, they put effort into that. It injects some freshness into those ongoing games. So I'm also a big Overwatch fan. I'm a day one player. I've
for sure.
hours. Like I loved Overwatch, and I took a little bit of a break for it for a while. I tried again with Overwatch 2, and it's definitely I was also very disappointed with their shifting kind of back on the PvE modes.
It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped the same game, dude.
It wasn't different enough, and that was my biggest complaint with Overwatch 2. I was like, it was actually one of the hardest games to review. I put out the review, and I was kind of like, it's good in the fact that Overwatch 1 was really good.
Yeah,
but it's also
good because Overwatch 1 is good.
It was such a hard thing to score because I was just like, they basically put a 2 on a 10 out of 10 game, but they don't deserve a 10 out of 10 again. But it's just as good. It was really hard to review because I was just like, they didn't do enough to justify the 2. And what I liked about it was I was like, the execution was terrible, but the concept, the idea of a pseudo sequel could actually have been a really cool idea if they executed it well, because I was like, for someone like me who had thousands of hours and all these cosmetics and all this stuff, I didn't want them to take the Call of Duty approach where like, okay, screw all of that, we're getting a new game, Overwatch 2, $60, and you have to start all over. I liked the idea that they were trying to move all your progression forward, but they just didn't add anything. It was it was pseudo sequel in a bad way. We're like, so like if they had pulled it off, we're like Overwatch 2 brought all of your stuff over, so it was still Overwatch 1, but it had all these new maps, new characters, new stuff that justified the 2. That's where they fell flat. They just didn't add enough. So yeah, I agree with that. Nick, what about you?
Well, I think gameplay has to be tight, and what I mean for that is addictive mechanics. For example, I love Monster Hunter. I've been playing Monster Hunter since the 3DS era, and I always keep coming back because you always want to try a new weapon, you want to get a new armor. Even though you have fought a monster multiple times, it always feels different. So I think that has to do a lot with the gameplay. And yeah, it's like fighting games. When you play a good fighting game, all characters feel different between them. And even though you're starting a new character, it doesn't feel like you're starting from scratch, but you're learning new complete stuff. And it's just, I don't know, it's really good. So for me to keep coming back to a game, it has to have tight gameplay. I think that's king for every game.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
If like the gameplay is like visually crazy, I love that. Immediately I'll start playing.
Yeah, like Devil May Cry. Playing Devil May Cry all the time.
I used to play like so many MMOs because they just were so fucking pretty.
You'll probably really like Final Fantasy 16 then, because there's certain
I have finished it like twice, and I'm doing my hardest playthrough right now. Yeah, with the New Game Plus and everything. I haven't got the time.
Sometimes where it's just visually, it's just so much coming at you, like all bright colors, where you're just like,
and the music, the graphics, everything is working perfectly fine in that game. So yeah, I think tight gameplay always.
You said 16, Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah. It's the newest one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to play that anyway. I'll let you know how. I'll let you know my review.
Final Fantasies every time again. There's so many of them. All right. Well, let's transition into our final section here for sake of time. Just we have some great dialogue, great discussion on gaming. I'm really excited to have you guys, but I want to make sure there's still enough time to do some plugs and talk a little bit about you guys and your content creator aspect. So transitioning away from gaming a little bit, moving on to upcoming projects. So for those watching, we have representative here. We have artists, cosplayers, and developers all in this spectrum of content creators here. So Eric, we're going to start with you. I would like you to tell our viewers a little bit about some upcoming projects that you have, upcoming things that they can know about, and we'll be putting links in the description. For those of you watching that like indie games, definitely have to check out LUCID. Eric, tell us more.
Cool. Yeah, LUCID is like I spewed before, it is I don't know, it's like a passion project of mine. It is the game that I would want to play if I wasn't making it. I'm sure you're seeing gameplay over here. I'm pouring everything I have into it. I've giving everything. My whole life is this game, and the Kickstarter is coming in September, mid-September. So please, it would be so very, very helpful if you would follow, at least just follow. That would be so awesome. And outside of that, we're making a prequel comic to accompany the Kickstarter backer awards. There's going to be an OST made by my fiance and good friend Andrew Black. It's like a huge I call myself a solo dev, but I have like a bunch of friends that are like helping bits and pieces, like put it in, but so it's becoming way less of a solo dev endeavor, and it's becoming like people that share my passion for gaming and just art in general. So yeah, please check it out, and if you like it, please give it a follow.
The video I have behind us is going to be Force Unleashed, and the Kickstarter link is going to take people to a petition for
www Starkiller Base.
It's gonna look like the Kickstarter link, but it's gonna route people over to a petition to get remastered for Star Wars, just because you insulted it.
That'd be so funny. I wouldn't be upset. That's really funny.
For those watching, definitely you can already go to the Kickstarter. Jokes aside, we're gonna put that link down in the description below. You can definitely follow this game on Kickstarter to be notified when it drops. Definitely want to support this game. It looks really cool. We've put out trailers and developer interviews. Check all that out. It's pretty cool. Eric, thanks for taking time out of your day to talk about games and all this stuff with us. And so definitely we're gonna have a little bit of Lucid behind us and talk to you guys about that. Check out Lucid, go follow it on your favorite social media platforms. We'll have all the links below. Nick, let's move on to you. What do you got coming up, man?
Well, coming up, isn't much, to be honest. Few waifu artwork, and I have Instagram and a Patreon, and yeah, please join. Please, if you like really spicy waifus, I'm doing a lot of that.
Hey, I'm a
remember,
Nick,
Nico
I know it's a little bit.
I'll put it in the chat, in the private chat. But yeah, but yeah, check it out. Like I said, I'm trying to do my best as an illustrator. So yeah, hope you like my work. And believe it or not, I have Final Fantasy VII artwork. So
hey, I'm gonna look.
We some of this is old news by the time this video gets up, but I'll highlight it anyways for you. So Nick was actually part of our Final Fantasy creator roundup article. So we have like a dozen or so Final Fantasy creators. So we highlighted some Final Fantasy art from Nick. So that was pretty cool. Check that out. And also, Nick, you just did a Mass Effect fan art for us. Moving on to Neela, you did a really cool 02 cosplay that we featured for Infinite Summer 23. We can definitely highlight that a little bit. That was fantastic. That's what we saw you in for MomoCon. You got anything coming up? Any projects are coming up? Anything you want to plug or show? And we'll also show that one behind us.
So thank you for the compliment on the 02. I actually did build that armor myself. It was like one of my very frustrating pieces. So I'm glad that it came off well in public. So there's all conventions throughout the year, obviously. And then there's always that like one really big convention that you want to make something for.
Awesome.
Well, that sounds cool.
Awesome.
Once again, I want to thank you all for joining us. For those of you watching, this is season 1, episode 1 of State of Gaming. We're going to be doing this regularly, rotating in and out other content creators and hopefully having these guys on again. Thank you guys for joining us. For those of you watching, please definitely check out the description below. We're gonna have a bunch of links where you can support these creators. Tell us what you thought. Tell us what comments, what topics you'd like to see in the future. Have us discuss, and we will see you all on the next Game Infinite video. Have a good one. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy.